Hello. What I hope to demonstrate today is a piece of equipment I have for cleaning DVDs and CDs. So I have a DVD here from a customer which is very badly scratched. Now I've polished it briefly by hand using some metal polish and got the worst of the scratches out that way, and was able to recover much of the content using a PC to extract the data as an MPEG-2 file. But there's a bit more on the disk. I'd like to be able to get that out for the customer as well. So we're at the point where we probably have most of what we need. We can afford to take risks. So I'm going to be using a JFJ Easy Pro CD and DVD polishing machine. Now I haven't used this machine for some time, probably well over a year. So I think the polishing chemicals have all settled a bit, so that's going to be a minor problem. But we'll go through the process. There are, I think, several different layers of polishing grades for it. So let's remind ourselves how all that works and see if we can get the worst of these scratches out and maybe recover some more data from this DVD. Okay, I have the disc, have the polishing machine, have the instructions. Let's see what I need to do. This disc is in fairly bad shape, so I'm going to have a go with the sanding disc to start with. There are two sanding discs. One is coarse, one is fine, and instructions say you should almost never need the coarse one. So let's assume that this disc, though it's bad, is not so bad as to need the coarse sanding disc. So I'll start with that. It says you pop that on the machine. I've marked it up fine because it wasn't marked up originally. We need to insert the disc on this clamp. You'd need different clamps and bits and pieces if you want to use miniature CDs and DVDs on this machine. Okay. So we're going to go with a 10-second polish on that. Switch it on. 10 seconds. Here goes. It's spinning around. I should show you the inside of the machine, shouldn't I? So this is driven, this clamps down on it, like so. And there's not much to see when it's running, that just rotates. Right, hopefully that's helped to remove some of the deep scratches from the DVD. Looking at it, of course it's added loads more new scratches, but they should be a lot finer. I would say it's a bit better, but there's still one scratch there I can see, which is running along the line of the data, which is not a good thing. So I think we're going to give that one more 10-second blast. To me, that looks better. So now we need to apply the polishes to take out the scratches that the sandpaper is fitted. Now, looking at the bottles here, they're marked number 2 and number 1. My number 1 seems to have settled a bit, which is worrying. But the number 1 and 2 is somewhat confusing. You use the number 2 first. So I've written first and second on there to make it clearer to myself. Okay, let's start with the blue one. So I'm going to remove that whole pad. There we go. Feels slightly warm. Now we'll fit the white pad and the white solution. So open the Easy Pro solution number 2, white. Place the tip over the white buffing pad, 5 or 6 drops, and spread it around the pad. Well, it ran out a bit more than I expected. I would suspect it's gone slightly runnier than it was. Maybe I need new solutions. Let's see how we get on. And it says 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes up. Let's see what the disc looks like. It's quite warm. I'm impressed. It's looking massively better. So next we will use a blue. I'll let that disc cool down a little bit, change the pad over and put the blue solution on. But I'm a bit worried that my blue solution settled out rather, and it may not be in the best condition. I've tried squishing this stuff around, but it still looks like it's settled. I don't think that's any good. It's way too runny. Oh dear. Maybe I can do more. Yes, if I actually take some out. I think I'll take it out of the bottle rather than try to pour it out, which I think is gummed up. That looks much... it looks disgusting, but it's certainly working much better by spooning some out, sort of thing. So we'll have to buy some more of that. Right, how long? This time 1 minute. Okay, let's see where we are. Well, to my eyes, the difference is truly remarkable. Let's clean it up with the supplied cloth. I would say that that's 90% better. We'll give that a go in a minute. Now, the other thing about storage is you shouldn't leave this sat on top of the pad. So either remove the pad or leave it open. What I'm going to do is take the pad out, put that in my store box, and then close it. Don't forget to put the clamp back. You can clean all this, of course, if the mood takes you. So I need to get hold of some more of a blue solution, I think, but generally it's working. I'm very pleased with that. Let's see what happens now with extracting the data. Now to extract the data from this customer's DVD, which has had nearly all the scratches removed. For undamaged DVDs, I would normally use Pinnacle Studio, it just happens to be my favourite video editing software. But for damaged DVDs like this, I'll typically use ISObuster. Now there's a hint to using this. Select the option for extracting MPEG video frames only, and it is more likely to give you usable results. Now you'll see here that it suddenly slows down on a damaged part of this particular DVD, and sometimes it will report that there are unreadable blocks, in which case progress could be very, very slow. It could take many hours. If a DVD won't extract like this, but it still does play okay on a DVD player, one solution can be, of course, to just play it on a DVD player and extract the video output. Not my preferred option, but it can overcome some of the lip sync errors you can get with corrupted MPEG-2 files that you'd extract from a damaged DVD. Now, we've been talking about scratches on the bottom of the DVD. Actually, for some discs, scratches on the top are an issue too, because the data is actually recorded on the other side of the disc. If the top of the disc is badly damaged, it can, especially if there's bits of the foil completely missing, you'll lose a lot of data and it can be completely unreadable. There are other problems that can happen with recordable DVDs such as this. There can be problems with the die, and that's the case with this particular DVD. Oh, handsome chap. This was recorded for my wedding, and to my horror I found that the DVD doesn't play. This copy doesn't. It gives you lots of skips and errors, and I suspect it's down to the quality of the original DVD that the die has degraded. I was extremely lucky that we'd made many copies of this and one of them was still playable, so we managed to recover that before it was lost forever. And if for that reason I would never recommend DVD as an archive medium at all. I produce very few these days. Those that I do make are made on Tyo Yuden single layer DVD-Rs, -Rs, which I believe are no longer in production, but I have a big enough stock of these that should last me until I retire. As well as scratches and die failure, I should also say that rewritable DVDs can suffer from loss of data, for example if they've been stored in heat and light. So the disc itself may be fine, you can still record data on it, but the data that's on there is lost. I've actually had this happen to some recordable mini discs where data was lost on them. There's another possible issue. This tends to apply mostly with CD and Laserdisc rather than DVD, thankfully, and that is delamination, or sometimes known as disc rot, where the inner layers of the disc start to break up. Now this particular disc is fine and it's nice and shiny and that plays without problems, but if you start to see the disc just looking funny, then the disc surface may be starting to degrade, and well, layers inside, and that can make the disc either unplayable or lots of little white black spots in the case of Laserdisc. And sometimes the disc can still look okay but have disc rot and be poor quality. In the case of CD, of course, it makes the sound corrupted, or maybe the CD completely unplayable, and Laserdisc, it affects the quality of the picture or makes it completely unplayable. There's nothing we can do, of course, with the polishing machine I've showed you to help with any of these problems with die or data loss or disc rot or damage to the top of the disc. It's purely to deal with scratches on the underside of the disc. Well, I hope you've learned something from today's experiments. Do please remember to like, share and especially subscribe, and I'll do more content on audio and video technology in the future. Bye for now.